Make a creepy Cthulu pie for Halloween.
Let's see what's cooking. It's time for Yo-Yo Max 12.
This pie is based on this creature, which is a creation of H.P. Lovecraft. And some people call this a Cthulhu, but apparently it's supposed to be pronounced Cthulu. So here we go. Hello everyone, starting off with a pie plate and some pastry. Now this is a pastry I use for all of my pies. It's the one my mother used and my grandmother used. It is a lard-based pastry, and in my opinion is the best pastry you can get and is much better than the vegetable shortening kind. I will link that in the description box below if you want to see my recipe that I use, which is the one that's on the box, the Crisco lard box, basically. So you put your pastry in the bottom of the pie pan, and I'm just going around and crimping the edges a little bit, and then you're going to fill it with your pie filling. I had some blueberry pie filling already made that I had in the freezer for another thing that I had made, so I just spooned it in there. Use whatever kind of pie filling or pie filling recipe that you want. Now we're going to make some tentacles. I'm using a pastry cutter that has a fluted edge and a straight edge so that it looks like the tentacles of a squid or an octopus. And I'm just cutting several with this pastry cutter. And that cloth underneath is a pastry cloth. And if you make a lot of pies, you should get one of these because you're going to love it. Now we're going to cut out the head part, which is like a circle with these tentacles on the bottom. And then we're going to start creating. So I put a few tentacles as a base, and I draped some of them over the edge of the pie. Don't drape them down too far because they're going to go really brown, and as soon as you touch them, they're going to break off once the pie is baked. But draping it over a little bit gives it a nice effect. So I put a few of those tentacles there until I felt like there was enough of them. And then you need to put something under the head to make it stand up, if you know what I mean. So like it looks like a rounded. So I decided to use an apple. I just cut the bottom of the apple off so that it would lie flat and that it was the right height in my opinion. And then I just put the pastry on top of it. So it gives you the illusion of a head, and it's an ingredient that you can eat afterwards if you want. I created an egg wash, which is one large egg with about a tablespoon of water whisked together, and I'm brushing it all over. It's just going to help give it a nice golden color, and it's also going to help everything stick together. Now for the eyelids, I'm just using a pastry cutter to cut these little kind of circle cut in half, so to speak, for an upper and lower lid. And for the eyes themselves, I'm using frozen blackberries. You could also use frozen cherries for this. And because that head is covered with a little bit of that egg wash, the pastry is going to stick very nicely and very quickly. So I just put one eye on with a top lid, and then adding the bottom lid, just so that it's got a little squint. And then the same thing with the other side. Adding a little bit of egg wash to make sure that it's nice and sticky so that everything sticks together and doesn't fall off when it's baking. And then we're going to add a few more tentacles. Just add as many as you would like. Now I found that I need a little bit more volume right for where the eyes meet. So I took a piece of pastry and I just kind of tucked it underneath there just to give it a little bit more volume on the front. And then another little egg wash to make sure that all the little bits were covered. And then you bake it like you would any pie until it's nice and golden brown and that the pie is done. And there it is. I was pretty happy with it. Instead of looking evil, though, my Cthulu looks a little sad and maybe a little depressed. It's crying a little blackberry tear there. But overall, I was happy with it, and it would make a great addition to a Halloween dessert table, let's say, for a party. On your screen right now is actually one of my favorite little pies that I've done for Halloween, this eyeball pie. So if you want to see it, go ahead and check it out. And there's also my Halloween playlist on your screen. Thank you so much for watching.